made. SB and Sean breaking through the noise, serving real talk, the genuine choice. No pretense, no hidden schemes, just sports passion fueling dreams. From the field to the court, every play that's made. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up, hear the honest sound. Unfiltered sports all year round. Discussions pure, no masquerade. Real takes over fake debates. Turn it up. Over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates. Real takes over fake debates.
And we are live. SB Talk Sports, Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates. It is Monday. Sean, how you doing today, brother?
Doing good, SB. How you doing, man?
Chilling, man. Okay, good. We're getting close to the new year, man. 2025, man. 2025, we're getting close to the new year. Everything is good, though, brother. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to get right into it. We're going to start off with the NFL. We might end with the NFL, too. But we got some NBA, too, to talk about. We got to talk about LeBron James today. Shout out to LeBron James' birthday today, 40. He hit that 40 burger. We got to talk about some record-breaking finales going on at the end of the season. But let's go ahead and start here. Saquon Barkley becomes the 9th running back in NFL history to rush for 2K yards. Imagine where we was at the beginning of this season or off season, especially with like the Hard Knock videos coming out where you got the Giants lowballing Saquon Barkley. And I love that Saquon Barkley come out here and balled out because you are judging a player off his position instead of the production. And the Giants have looked so terrible as an organization because of this. And then for Saquon Barkley to drop a 2K yard season, sometimes also your environment that messes you up as a player too. But have a 2K yard season, but also possibly can break the record against the Giants is crazy. But let's talk about Saquon first, him being a 9th running back to get 2K yards.
I mean, certainly has to be. This is an absolute great accomplishment, the 9th ever to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when you talk about the others who've done it before him, obviously Derrick Henry did it, a few seasons ago. But this isn't something we see all the time. So anytime you get a chance to see it, it is super special. And I think, and I want to say probably even more special in today's game, because obviously we understand how teams have, essentially gone to running back by committee and things of that nature. But when you do this, when you do it and you think about the others who've done it, they were all very special backs in their own way. And also the fact that he didn't necessarily need the 17th game to get to the 2000. He did it in 16 games. Mm-hmm. So to me, that makes it even more special. But it's definitely a major accomplishment. He's 101 yards away from breaking the all-time record, which I know we're going to talk about here in a moment.
Yes.
But it's just an absolute major accomplishment, and doing it on a team. This is the first year he's on this team, the first one to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it in his first year with the team, just an absolute tremendous accomplishment.
And when you look at like Saquon from what he's like done with the Eagles, right? And like you said, this is his first time on the team, the first player to do it. People don't realize that the Eagles were up a couple games. I think like 3 or 4 games they was up and he set. So it's like he could, if the game's a little bit closer or he just really stat chasing, he probably could have been at 2,000 a little bit earlier, because I know like 3 games they had blowouts and Saquon sweat. It was one video they went viral where they was talking, they had a little mic'd up thing where they asked him like, "Hey, Saquon, you want to come in and go get it? I know you like a couple yards from getting this." And Saquon was like, "Nah, let the young guys play. I'm going to just sit out. We good. The game over. I don't care about it." So people like, I love the fact that you acknowledge that he got it in the 16. Honestly, he might have, if the game's a little bit closer, he might have would have got it before then. Or if he cared about stat chasing, he probably would have got it a game or two before.
Yeah, I think it was the Rams game that you're talking about when he had 255 And we know the rushing record. I think the single game record is 296. So there was a chance he could have gotten the single game record in that game. So to your point, SB, he's not a stat chaser. And again, not to make this about someone else, but it's the same thing with Ashton Genty when we talked about him and the fact that these guys are doing it, and they're not necessarily doing it playing the entire game because their teams are up in some of these games so much that they don't necessarily need them to play. And these guys don't care, necessarily about the individual accomplishments in that way. I think they, and I won't say they don't care. It's just not. That's not what moves them. That's not what motivates them. Saquon wants to win.
For me, with those, it's a catch-22 because it's like in the moment you don't want to be selfish and take the risk of getting hurt. But also later in your career, you'll be like, dang, I wish I would have actually just gone ahead and just did it. Because later, I hear a lot of players say that like during the moment, and obviously we glorify them for not being selfish. But sometimes, man, just go ahead, just go get it.
And I will say too, as much as we talk about this great accomplishment, we're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. They have, in my opinion, one of the two best lines in the NFL, along with the Detroit Lions. Those guys up front do their job, and they're doing this after having lost Jason Kelce, to retirement. So I think it's just an amazing, amazing accomplishment. And again, to your point, I think there's some things where you wish you kind of gone for it, but ultimately at the end of the day, I think Saquon is a little more in mentality Barry Sanders than he is Emmitt Smith. I'll just leave it at that.
Not the Emmitt Smith. Is Saquon Barkley a Hall of Famer? He's on pace to be, for sure. He's on pace to be. But can Saquon Barkley break the rushing record? You got a team, which another part of we're gonna switch back to NFL later in the show. We're gonna talk about this. We got another team who's trying to tank, end up winning. A lot of people are upset about that. But yes, I think against the Giants, it'll be bittersweet for him to break the record, and I want him to break the record probably within the first half. I want the Eagles, right, just because of the GM did what he did and how he did Saquon Barkley. I want Saquon. He need what you say. Need what? 101.
101 to break the record.
I want him to rush for like 150 in the first half, 2 TDs, make the game not close to the first half because the Giants not trying to win, even though they won that last game. I want him to rush for like 150 in the first half, break the record, 2 TDs, salute them off, and send them on their way. Because this game is at Philly this time, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Blow them out. Blow them out. We got to make a statement because sometimes. People, I don't tell nobody what you should believe in, whatever. Praise to the Most High. Karma is a real thing. Sometimes this is bittersweet. They drag my boy Saquon bad off his position, not his production. They did him dirty like he was just a regular old player, knowing he was the player for this team. Video did it, treating the way he did, think he wasn't going to get an offer. Got offered, had one of his best seasons ever. Then he has time to break the all-time rusher record against his former team. Oh, yeah, you got to do it. Saquon, I don't want to hear it. I know the team is probably doing it because of how the Eagles are as a team and how they come off. And from what I see from videos, they going to make him break that record. We breaking that record. He gonna get 30 carries in the first half. The first 8 plays, we running the ball. Unless it's third and 12. If it's 3rd and 9, Sean, we running the ball. First 8 plays, Saquon getting the ball. We gonna get it. I hope we break off first play. 80 yards, 70 yards, 60-yard touchdown. But yes, I can see Saquon breaking the record. It's that time.
I will say this. I think so. I always call this week incentive week. Because a lot of guys have incentives in their contracts.
Yes.
That if they hit certain benchmarks, that obviously they get bonuses and things like that. I'd be curious to see which guys on the Eagles have those type of incentives in their contracts and how, if they haven't already hit them, how close they are. Because trust the coaches and the coaching staff is as cognizant of that as the players are. In a lot of cases. So I think it's going to be a balance of obviously you want to see Saquon break the record. I think that's probably, a big priority. But I think the bigger priority for the Eagles is to come out of this game healthy, because they're going to have to play, the following weekend on Wild Card Weekend. And so how do they balance all of those things? So this is, some of the discussions I'm sure Nick Sirianni and that coaching staff are having around how they're going to use, the players this week. And I'm sure they'll have conversations with those individual players. And those players will say, hey, I'm good with this. I'm good. So I think that's going to be some of the balance that you're going to see this week as we go into incentive week, particularly for the Eagles.
Now, I'm glad you brought up incentive week, because it's it's coming to a record-breaking finale when it comes to this NFL season. And we were talking about it before the show, and Sean, you were saying how you like that the NFL changed the schedule by putting the division games at the end of the year. So now end of the season games matter more. So now you get, back in the day, nobody didn't really watch these last week 16 game, week 15 games. But now it kind of matters, because now you got these division games. We got teams fighting for the division right now with I think the Buccaneers, which we're going to talk about the playoff picture in a minute. But there's a lot of milestones that could be done. Shout out to this rookie class. We had Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors, Lad McCuckey, and I feel like I'm forgetting another rookie. I think he's on the Jaguars. I don't know why his name is blanking my mind.
Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas. They all hit 1,000 yards this year. I think it's the first time 4 rookies did that ever in a season. So shout out to those rookies. But it's a lot of different record-breaking finales that's going on. Aaron Rodgers can go for his 500 touchdown, that he would be in the class with Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, to be a 500 pass quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, yes. He's going for 500, Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
We got Jamar Chase on Triple Crown watch this last game. We also got Mike Evans. He had 915 right now, 915 yards. He's going for another 1,000-yard season. It's possible he could be the first player ever with 11 straight 1,000 yards. If I'm wrong, let me know, somebody in the chat, but I believe it's true.
That is correct.
Okay. And then Malik Neighbors can try to pass Brock Bowers for the most receiving yards, or is it most catches for a rookie?
I think it's most catches for a rookie.
Most catches for a rookie. And Joe Burrow is seeking a 5,000-yard season. Then also we got Saquon Barkley at the end to break the rushing record. Which one you think the record-breaking finale might hold the most weight?
Oh, I mean, nothing against those other guys, but it's Saquon. Mm-hmm. Again, you're talking about a record that stood for 40 years. When you do something that it's not apples to apples, but it's comparative to LeBron passing Kareem. That record stood for 40 years. Mm-hmm. So, it's something that, again, when you think about today's NFL and you talk about today's NFL, and again, how teams deploy running backs.
Yep.
That it's something that a lot of people didn't think they would see. I know on Sunday, I will be tuned into the Eagles-Giants game to see if he breaks the record.
Yeah, I'm going to be tuned in too. I want to see him break it.
Yeah. So, and also, again, when you talk about these records, obviously, Eric Dickerson has come out and said he's not rooting for him to break the record, but if he does, he does, and, he'll be all right with it. But he's not rooting for him. Eric Dickerson also has the rookie season rushing record, which I don't know if anybody will ever break, which was over 1,800 yards. But I don't know if anybody will break that, even though I think Ashton Genty might have a chance. Especially,
I don't think they're gonna give a running back a chance to do it. A rookie running back a chance to do it.
I think if you got somebody super special and they're not splitting carries, because I always believe, and I say this, Adrian Peterson, his rookie year was splitting carries with Chester Taylor, but when you watch AP run, it was like, man, this guy,
You know who could have probably did that? But they get. I don't feel like he was in a bad situation too, though. The running back from the Falcons when he got drafted, I think.
Bijan. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because again, Bijan was splitting carries with Tyler Algier. So I think that's part of it is the situation you go to, but also just a team realize, hey, we got something special here. Let's ride this thing. While we have it.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go. Just play devil's advocate. I'm gonna go Mike Evans 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons is ridiculous because he didn't have the same quarterback during his whole run.
Right.
He didn't had he got Baker Mayfield now. He didn't had Tom Brady. He didn't had Jameis Winston. I don't know who the other guys.
You remember who he had his rookie year?
No, I don't.
Josh McCown.
Josh McCown, Jesus, and he still had 1,000 yards with Josh McCown. Cool, good.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mike Evans.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's just the mark of consistency there. You can't take away from that. But
I can't take away.
Yeah.
College was asking if Saquon Barkley Hall of Fame. You could check Mike Evans in that box. A Hall of Famer guaranteed.
I think Mike Evans is absolutely a Hall of Famer. Guaranteed.
As soon as he lays first ballot Hall of Fame. Now I know people do the ranking of wide receivers. You might not say where he ranked that, but I'm sorry, 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and you don't have a foundational quarterback your whole career. I'm sorry. I ain't saying he might not end his career top 5, but I swear I'll make a case to put him in the bottom of that 15 to 10 range. I'll make a case for him because I'll make a case for him from 15 to 10. I'll make a case for him. I think he belongs in the conversation.
I think he's in the conversation of the best of the top of his generation. Where he will be all time is a different conversation because, again, I'm not taking anything away from Mike Evans, but he's an absolute dog. But there's some guys that when you look back at their careers, you're like, man, that guy was absolutely like that. So
Bag said pretty good quarterback. Josh McCown was not a pretty good quarterback, Bag. You know he wasn't.
It was only his rookie year. It was only his first
rookie year.
Rookie year, yeah. So.
But speaking of Hall of Fame, I'm glad we brought up the Hall of Fame, though. 15 finalists has been announced for the Hall of Fame. I believe they're gonna break it down to like 6 or 8, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it should be between 6 and 8 who will get in on the class.
I want to know your 8 that you might pick. We're gonna do 8. And I'm going to tell you my 8. But the finalists go as follows. The 15 finalists: Eric Allen, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Jahar Evans, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, Stephen Smith Sr., Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Adam Vinatieri, Reggie Waynes, Darren Woodson, and Marshall Yada.
Marshall Yanda.
Yep. Marshall Yanda. Sorry about that, Marshall. Who was your 8? If you had to pick 8.
If I had to pick 8?
You had to pick 8.
I'm gonna in no particular order.
No particular order.
I'm gonna say Eric Allen, Jared Allen. Jared Allen, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly. I'm gonna say Eli Manning. That's 6.
Eli first ballot? Ooh, hey.
The 2 Super Bowls, man. I'm telling you.
And beat Tom Brady. He only doesn't beat Tom Brady.
And the Manning name, just to be clear. Adam Vinatieri and Reggie Wayne.
I like that. Only one that I'm iffy on, and it is only to be fair to the other guys, because Luke Kuechly was goated during his time. I'm not gonna lie, but his career was kind of short. But everybody just instantly said Luke Kuechly got to get in. And I'm just thinking like about other guys who kind of play longer, put in just as much work, like a Fred Taylor. So I 100% agree that Luke Kuechly, before I get my 8, I 100% agree that Luke Kuechly is going to be a Hall of Famer shit because he was goated. But you don't think that how short his career was shouldn't fault him a little bit? Because like everybody's saying Luke Kuechly is a lot.
So the short career argument is always around like Terrell Davis and Gale Sayers. When you think about those guys, Patrick Willis didn't have the longest career. He got in recently. I think it's going to come down to Tony Baselli, which, I'm not even going to have that discussion.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah, no. But the point is I don't think the short career thing is going to be as bad as it once was. I think people are going to look at the window, the 7 years he played, and how great he was. He did win the Defensive Player of the Year. He did win a Rookie of the Year. He did play in a Super Bowl, and so I don't know if that will hurt him as much as it may have once did, because I think that was part of the argument around Terrell Davis, why Terrell didn't get in as quickly as some other backs. I don't know if that's necessarily going to hurt him in this, but certainly whoever's in the room arguing for him, they're going to have to be able to speak about that. That he didn't play that long, and again he retired. I think he had concerns about. I know he had some concussions, and he ended up kind of walking away. But when he walked, kind of like Patrick Willis had to walk away because of some foot issues. But those two guys, when you talk about the middle linebacker position of the last 15, 20 years, they're the two. And I will put Bobby Wagner right there with them. So I have to believe Kuechly's got a great chance to get in. And if he doesn't get in on this one, I think he definitely gets in within the next two.
One. So the guys also follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts if y'all got it. Okay, my 8, no particular order. Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Daryl Woodson, Jared Allen. Ooh, see, this way it gets shaky It's time for Fred Taylor to get in there. Fred Taylor. I feel bad for anybody in the room because this is hard. This is hard. Terrell Suggs and Steve Smith. I'm gonna go there. Now the last 2 picks probably be biased. I love Terrell Suggs and Steve Smith Sr. That's gonna be my Hall of Fame class. That's gonna be mine. I could definitely argue anybody you could make a case for. So I'm gonna go there. But I think it's a certain I can guarantee, like Sean, the 3 that I have for a lot is I know for sure gonna get in is Antonio Gates, Reggie Wayne, and I want to say maybe Torrey Holt is my only ones I know for sure them 3 might get in.
Yeah, the receiver backlog is still an issue because I'm one of those believe that Torrey Holt probably should have been in.
Should have been in. You should have been in.
Yeah, because his last season was 2009. Obviously, Steve Smith and Reggie Wayne played a little bit longer than he did. But so my belief is that Torrey Holt, other receivers, because he's been the one waiting the longest, he's the one to me that I think is guaranteed to get in of the receivers.
Yep.
But Reggie Wayne, man, I mean, I can't say enough about Reggie Wayne. I just think, yeah. And again, this is always going to be. It's always like this time of year. You make it to the finals. You hope you make the cut, but if not, you hope you're a finalist once. You'll be a finalist again at some point. So I just think there's going to be 2 or 3 guys who won't get in on this class who absolutely are deserving to get in on this class.
Yeah, now and then the bank you talking about Eddie George? Eddie George not in the Hall of Fame?
No, he's not a Hall of Famer. No.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
No. Eddie George is really good. Not a Hall of Famer. Not a Hall of Famer.
Argue that Eddie George should be in the Hall of Fame. We're gonna talk to you about that. We gotta go back and look on that one.
No.
We gotta switch to the NBA. We gotta talk about this Kings, and then we gotta talk about something going on with LeBron. Happy 40th birthday to LeBron James. But obviously, De'Aaron Fox had to address some things because a lot of things came out when Mike Brown got fired. First of all, I want to say this. When it came out how Mike Brown got fired, and I'm going to say this the most PG way I can say this. The owner or whoever run the Sacramento Kings, you're a piece of shit. And that's the most PG way, and I don't like cursing on the platform. That's the most PG way I could probably say that, because for you to have a man, right, knowing you want to get rid of no matter what it is, he was just there, Sean. They made this man run a full practice, waited till he got on the plane to LA and leave, Sean, and then call him and say he's fired. As a man, I don't like that. As business, I don't like that. That shows what type of organization you is. That shows what type of person you are as a man, that you couldn't tell this man to his face that you wanted to fire him. That's petty. That shows scum-like activity. That shows backdoor activity. I don't like it at all. I was disgusted by it. And I can tell you this: every time the Kings on TV, I hope they lose. I will never. The Kings will never get a Raider hoorah for me for a while, because at the end of the day, it peed me off a little bit more because they did it to a black man too. I'm not gonna lie, but even if he's black or not, I just feel like at the end of the day, as a man, and this is a business, you supposed to look that man in his eye, bring him to your office, and tell him straightforward to his face, "Hey, I appreciate the service of what you've done. Obviously, he just won Coach of the Year a couple of years ago. Well, I appreciate what your service. We think about going a better another direction. How hard is that? 2-second conversation. 2-second conversation, Sean. But for you to let this man run a full practice, work with the team, and wait till you're on a plane to call him, I'm not rocking with that, Sean. At all. At all. And then it leads on to now going on De'Aaron Fox saying, oh, he was scolding De'Aaron Fox, but obviously De'Aaron Fox is the best player on the team. So knowing Mike Brown, he probably old school. Because if I could talk to my best player like this, nobody else can complain, because this is De'Aaron Fox's team. There also was rumors coming out that he lost the locker room, part reason because he wanted DeMar DeRozan to come off the bench. DeMar DeRozan don't want to come off the bench, which I think he might need to start considering it at this point of his career if he want to play the way he want to play, because DeMar DeRozan not changing play style. But De'Aaron Fox addressed the things going on. He said it was never pushed back against Mike Brown. He pretty much didn't really have nothing to do with him getting fired. But I want to know, what was your reaction to this? And also, what was your reaction to how they fired Mike Brown? Because I'm not going to lie, I was disgusted by it.
I mean, Asby, I can't echo your comments about how they handled it anymore. I think it shows the level of class that organization, which starts at the top, has. Certainly for someone, let's be very clear, the Kings have been garbage for 20 years. For 20 years.
20 years.
Mike Brown comes in a little over 2 years ago, and he's the first one who really, I think gets a chance to steady the ship. But also, let's remember, they also fired Mike Malone. Yep. Mike Malone is a championship winning coach in Denver. They've had some other coaches there that, things didn't work out for different reasons. I know DeMarcus Cousins, had some major issues when he was there in the organization. But it starts at the top. And ever since Vivek Ranadive has taken over that franchise a little over 11 years ago, they've had 8 head coaches.
Come on now.
8.
Come on now.
And I want to say this really quickly. I think sometimes what gets lost in the conversation when we talk about leadership and we talk about someone who understands how to run an organization is the thought is, if you're rich, you must be right or always right. And that is not always the case. This is someone who I think, again, just to give you this real quick story, SB, Vivek Ranadive, he coached his daughter's basketball team, youth basketball team. They played an unconventional style where they basically play with only 4 on offense or 4 on defense or something. So it's basically like 4 on 5 on one end of the court. And they were able to win with that in the league that they were in or whatever. And so he was someone who was encouraging. He was like, well, why can't this be done at the NBA level?
Must be out your mind.
I mean, so, he's someone who, as Kevin Garnett said about Glenn Taylor, he don't know S about basketball. And it's very clear that he doesn't know. Now, I want to say this also. When they brought in DeMar DeRozan, a lot of it was because I think he had a relationship with Vivek Ranadive. He was the one who really wanted DeRozan. And again, whether DeRozan was the right choice or fit, that's another conversation. If Mike Brown asked DeMar DeRozan to come off the bench and DeMar DeRozan didn't like it, if he's got the owner's ear in that way, I don't think that helped Mike Brown keep his job long term. And again, I understand why Mike Brown would have asked DeRozan to come off the bench because, again, to your point, SB, you've seen years of DeRozan. He is not changing the way he plays. And if you think that helps this team keep some continuity with the starting five, but also helps the bench, because, again, they don't get much scoring from their bench with their current starting five.
Yep.
As the veteran, and again, the guy coming to the team with two young all-stars in Sabonis and Fox and a rising player in Keegan Murray, why wouldn't you say, hey, you know what? I'm okay coming off the bench. I'll figure it out.
Yep.
No, that's what a leader does. So I'm putting some of this, if the reports are true, on DeRozan as much as the owner. But I just think it was a terrible, terrible move. And there are guys on that team I like watching. I like Fox. I like watching Sabonis. I like watching Keegan Murray. But to your point, it was just a trash move. I hated it happened to Mike Brown. I didn't particularly care for De'Aaron Fox's response to it either. I thought he could have handled it a little bit better, but
he could.
Yeah, but also I think he's someone who's questioning, how much longer he wants to be there. So maybe that was part of why he responded the way he did. But I do believe that there's something to be said for how this organization has constantly done coaches in particular, and that, again,
Players
all the
too.
coaches who come out, and players too, but all the coaches who come out and spoken up about this situation, it tells you it's a bigger issue than just who's the man in the head seat.
I 100% agree with you on that one because I'm about done with the Kings organization, and yeah, let's just go ahead and go. I want to I was like Sean when I first seen it, I was so disgusted. I was like, we just go to the next. I was just so disgusted about that. But then also, just one last good point to show how bad you is as an organization, right? Just because a player is cool with the owner, he ain't been to this team. This team been trash. You just hired a coach who just turned your organization around. Just won Coach of the Year a couple years ago. But you're gonna take that player side over somebody who just turned your organization around. Yeah, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Like you said today, though, it's LeBron James' 40th birthday. Happy birthday to LeBron James, by the way. He said a lot of things in the press conference that we definitely got to talk about. But the first one is how he said he would love to finish his career with the Lakers. At the end of the day, if LeBron James, I wanted to touch base on, if LeBron James did what he did for any other organization, his run with the Lakers would have been labeled a success. But only because how spoiled the Lakers fans are, which I would tip my hat credit for that organization by spoiling them with championships. They look at it slightly different. But I'm sorry, at the end of the day, the man won a championship. He kept y'all consistently relevant in the playoffs. Y'all done made more money off this man's name and now just his son's name. And he broke NBA records in the Lakers jersey. The Lakers would be out of their mind if they let LeBron James walk. Because that last year, you know how much money they probably going to make off LeBron James? That last year when he said, I'm going to leave, that's my farewell too. Because I don't think he going to pull a Tim Duncan. Even if, like let's just say, I don't think he going to pull a Tim Duncan. But let's say if LeBron James wanted to, the league would not let him pull a Tim Duncan. No, brother, we need to get, because we don't know what's going to happen when you leave. We need to get every dollar, now it's going to be like LeBron James versus Charlotte. At the Charlotte Hornets game, it'd probably be like $2 and you get a free hot dog. Now they're going to charge you about $500 for nosebleeds because it's LeBron's last game. But any other day, it'd be like, man, the ticket's like $2. But do you think it would be smart for both sides for LeBron and the Lakers to retire a Laker? Then also, since LeBron 40th birthday, give me your best like LeBron James moment that you had. I know you got one with you being a Heat fan. I know it's going to be in Miami.
Of course.
Yeah, I know it's going to be in Miami.
No, well, I'll say this. Obviously, it makes a great deal of sense for them to continue the relationship. The Lakers largely pride themselves on being an organization that does take care of older stars. but they also understand the value of those stars and that name cachet of that having those players on their team and on with their franchise to end their careers. We go all the way back to George Mikan and Jerry West, Will Chamberlain and Elgin Baylor. All of those guys ended their careers as Lakers, and then you fast forward to Magic, Kareem, Worthy. All those guys ended their careers as Lakers. Obviously, probably the biggest one that probably stands out is Shaq. Obviously, didn't end his career as a Laker. Which is another conversation, but they largely pride themselves on that, and I think there's a great value to them to continue the relationship. How long is another conversation, which I know there's a piece we need to talk about after this. That would be kind of the thing. I would expect. My belief is it's going to be 23 for 23. That next season is going to be it. That 23 for 23. It's a nice banner to put up. 23 for 23. You know, and again, as you said, SB, he's not going. It's not going to be the Tim Duncan thing. There's going to be a major announcement on IG or something. And
strive for greatness. I'm out. This is my last year, 23.
And also, I think certainly the NBA is really big on honoring its legends in their last year, for those that want it, and those who I think have earned it. There's some who thought they earned it, but they didn't get it. Shout out Paul Pierce.
I knew the Paul Pierce strike was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Listen. I'm always throwing strays at Paul Pierce because he said he had a better career than D Wade.
Yeah, he was wild for that.
That's neither here nor there. But I think ultimately it would be great for the league. We all want to see it. We all know he's earned it. We all know he deserves it. And so I think we certainly want to see it. And I don't doubt that he will end his career with the Lakers. I just don't see him unless for some, and the only place I could possibly see him saying, I'll end my career here is in Cleveland. But other than that, I just don't see it being anywhere else than the Lakers.
Yeah, it got to be anywhere else but the Lakers for me. I feel like too much money involved. But also, what's your favorite LeBron moment career-wise?
Oh, Game 6, 2012. Game 6, 2012. It still stands out to me. I still think, I know people talk about 3-1 and but that was over a course of game. I'm talking one game. Everything's on the line.
He was cooking.
Yeah, down 3-2. What he did that night, in Boston on the road in a hostile environment, that will, to me, is that's his magnum opus game to me. Just because of the moment. And again, I know people talk about the 3-1, and I'm not taking anything away from the 3-1 and the Game 7 and the block on Iguodala, but down 3-2 after what happened the previous year in the finals, that's why I think it's that one for me.
Yeah. For me, see, everybody know, like, when it comes to LeBron, for me, my favorite version of LeBron is the first run in Cleveland. I'm always rock with that first, because he did change his game when he did go to Miami. It's like only thing that like irritates me a little bit. It was like, yeah, why he don't have that killer instinct more than Jordan? He played like that during that first Cleveland run. And when I was like young watching this, and I was just like, bro, this dude is like ridiculous. And I was like a shorty. I'm trying to remember, I want to remember my exact age during that time. But when he scored 25 straight on the Detroit Pistons, I was like, bro, this dude
2007.
2007. I'm trying to think if my little brother was 7 around that time. I was like 14 years old. And as a shorty, I'm watching this, and I'm just like, bro, this dude is ridiculous, bro. And I'm like, imagine, people got to understand, that Detroit Pistons team was locked down defensively, like, we going to shut you down. And they couldn't do nothing to stop this dude, bro. And I'm watching the game as a kid, and I'm just like, bro, I'm like, bro, this is probably one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. Because then, I'm getting like, obviously, you watch certain games, but it's like I started getting around like that age, and I was like hooping elementary school. I really started understanding, like truly understand when I was watching. So that was like one of my first moments, like really understanding basketball and watching it. And I'm just like, I don't know if you can get no better than this, bro. This man's going, they can't stop. This like, you ever play somebody in a video game and they only use one character. You know they gonna score this one character, and you can't do nothing about it. I'm like, bro, this is like some real life video game stuff. I ain't never seen nothing like this before ever. So I always have to go that, and they used to blow me, but at the end of the day, every time he used to play my boys, he used to kill us, dog. Young Braun was a different breed. That first Braun is still. I say he the best version of LeBron James, but that first Cleveland run LeBron James is still my favorite version of LeBron. Now we go to young to old because LeBron has lost his everlasting man, Sean. So obviously they was asking him about when you gonna retire. He was just like, he really don't truly know, but we know it's next year. Next year he's done. This man said out his mouth, verbatim, I can play another 4. He was like 4 to 7, 5 to 7 years at a high level. Imagine LeBron James is 40. I tip my hat to LeBron. You take care of your body better than anybody. Like you set the standard of what you want to be great. But LeBron James, you are out your mind if you believe in 5 years at the age of 45, you finna be averaging 25 and 5. You but bro, them legs ain't gonna hit the same. I don't care what treatment you do, bro. You 45. Now, can we get a vintage LeBron James game? Probably out of 82 game seasons, I'll probably give you like 20 of them. You not playing that whole season, brother. Now, if Sean, do I believe he can just like walk up any day, go to like some gym or go like to like NBA runs after chilling for money, go crazy? 100%. But he must be out his mind if he think for 4 or 5 more years he can play at a high level. It's not gonna happen, bro. LeBron, you ain't gonna even wake up the same, brother. You ain't gonna even wake up the same, man. Oh, them knees ain't gonna feel the same. I see how LeBron toes look too. The toes, boy, the feet got miles on the brother. It's gonna hurt worse when you. It's gonna hurt worse when you 45. You have to chill, dog. But to LeBron James' point, I'm never gonna doubt him because he is one of the greatest basketball players. But he is out of his mind. I say no, he cannot play at a high level. Can he still play for another 5 more years? Yes. At a high level? No way. No way.
Yeah, I saw the article, the quote. He said he believes he could. But let me take another approach. Should he play? No. It's when you talk about one name athletes, SB, Jordan, Ali, LeBron is a one name athlete. The thing we don't want, and I say this, and I don't ever want to speak ill on the Wizard years because I think the Wizard years Jordan was not Chicago Jordan, but he was still really good, and he can still have those moments where it's like that's still Michael Jordan. You know, Muhammad Ali could still have his moments after, the Thrill in Manila where you'd be like, that's still Muhammad Ali. But it wasn't the same high level of consistent greatness. I personally would not want to see LeBron reach that point where he's not able to play at the level that we're basically accustomed to seeing. Don't cheat, the viewer. So should he? No. Could he still play at a high level? Maybe, but no.
I say no.
No.
45 go ahead different.
Yeah, just no.
Go ahead, just go off to the sunset, dog. Go off to the sunset, dog.
Just no. Yeah, I think it was his birthday party. I don't know if it was his birthday party or the 40K celebration or when he broke the scoring record, where I think his wife might have insinuated that he should keep playing long enough to play with Bryce. Just no. Just no.
No. See, look, one thing I would say about that though, shout out to Savannah because she is a gem. Most people wife, because I guarantee Savannah probably want LeBron home, whatever. Go ahead, Savannah, do some other stuff. But Savannah's the only person that no matter what LeBron do, bro, I go for it, honey. Go. I never heard her even question none of it. Whatever bro doing, she rocking with. We gonna push forward. Now, when she probably at home, she probably tell her, hey, look, it's about time, you know what I'm saying, to go ahead and sit it all down. But she never say public, you got other people wise, what's Tom Brady last night? She's begging our man to retire for the last 4 years.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
And then doing something with the yoga train the whole time. Tom Brady was just scared to get
that
out.
wasn't the whole time. I don't think that was
It
the whole time.
the whole time.
It wasn't the whole time. Well, I mean, listen, take your home. How about that? How about if you? Because again, I think her concern was, and she even said this several years ago, was his long-term health because of the concussions and because of waking up, in pain and things like that. As a wife, you would hope that she would feel that way. Obviously, it's a very different animal with LeBron. I think the big thing for LeBron and his family is, there's other things I know he wants to pursue. And he's mentioned multiple times about wanting to have that team own that team in Vegas. That's coming sooner than later. So you can't stay in much longer if that's the intent, because we're going to see expansion, I think, in the next few years. And obviously, if you really want to get in on that, get in on the ground floor of that, it's probably going to have to happen sooner than later.
I think a lot of boost to his money going to come from that last year, because I think that last year, his first year of retirement, when he started doing his runarounds here, and there, making all that. Hey, look, I know LeBron going to be like, dude, anywhere you go, LeBron, right where you retire, hey, make sure they pay you that bag. I don't even care what it is. You look, every penny matters when you're trying to own that team. But we got to switch to NFL, Sean, before we get up out of here. The NFL playoff picture is closing in. Right now, we only have one seat available for both sides right now. But the teams who have secured their spot in the playoffs, the Kansas City Chiefs, let's go AFC. Kansas City Chiefs got the number one seed locked. Signs to deliver. Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Houston, Texas, the Steelers, and the Chargers. For the NFC, who got a spot locked, Vikings with the number one seed is crazy.
Currently.
Depending
on tonight, yes.
Depending on tonight's game. I mean, tomorrow, tonight's game?
Yes, Monday Night Football. Yeah, Detroit wins. Detroit will go back to the number one seed.
Yeah, Detroit wins. Yeah. Vikings, Eagles, Rams made it. Lions, Commanders made it. I think that last little run just solidified Jay Danes for his offensive rookie of the year, and the Packers. Buccaneers right now fighting to win their division, and the Broncos are on the cusp, and the Bengals are on the way too. There's a lot of things that can happen for the Bengals to get in. Joe Shiesty has been balling out. I just know that the Broncos have to win their last game against the Bengals, and they should pretty much solidify their spot. Two things I want to talk about. Who was your most shocking team, you had to say, from both sides that solidified a playoff spot? And who do you think will get the last two spots on both sides?
So I would say Washington, obviously, probably the shock, because I don't think anybody had them as a playoff team coming in.
What about your AFC team?
Denver.
Well,
Denver's not completely locked in yet, to be clear. They're a wild card team. But I would say Denver, if they make it, would be my biggest shock, certainly, because, again, I don't think anybody had them as a playoff team coming into this season.
For mine's, because I can even show you guys on from our predictions, where is the AFC predictions, right? I had this team finishing last in the AFC North, right? Pittsburgh Steelers gotta be my shocker to make the playoffs. I did not expect this team to be this good. It was too many question marks with the quarterback position. I already knew this team was well coached and going to play defense. Russell Wilson has definitely re-solidified his name as a solid quarterback. They've been outstanding this year. I'm not going to even lie. The Steelers have been outstanding, and it's also a possibility they can still get the third seed. If the Ravens lose and they win, I don't know. I think it's a 1-1 tiebreaker, right, with them.
Yeah.
So if the Ravens lose, then maybe they can still get the spot. Maybe it depends on the points. And then I have to 100% agree with you with the NFC. I'll be lying if another team, and if I go to my NFC, what is the NFC East? I had the Commanders finishing third, but I'm just in shock. I didn't expect it to be this good. So I definitely have to agree with you with the Commanders, but the Steelers and Commanders are definitely my biggest shocker. Even though the Rams overachieved a little bit too this year, but their division was kind of like iffy with the 49ers being out the way. I could definitely say I didn't expect the 49ers to be that bad, but injuries does kill you a lot. Sean, for my team that I think will finish off, and I'm gonna definitely hear yours. I got the Buccaneers getting the last spot, and I have, even though the Bengals have been hot, I can see the Broncos finishing it off and then getting that last spot for me. What about you?
So I as a Saints fan, because we play the Buccaneers this Sunday, I do not see the Buccaneers winning this Sunday at all. I hope it's 78-0. But but I will say I think Atlanta certainly, after last night, put themselves in a tough position where they obviously need help. Falcon fans have never rooted for the Saints more than they will this Sunday. Because the Falcons obviously need to beat Carolina and then hope that Tampa loses to the Saints. I do think this playoff picture is still, obviously still, filling itself out. But the fact that the Sunday night football game this coming week, Minnesota and Detroit, is ultimately going to decide the number one overall seed in the NFC. Again, very smart move by the NFL, and they don't make a lot of very smart move by the NFL, putting all these divisional games the last week of the season, because this game definitely matters and is on prime time, is in prime time, and the only game that will be on during that time. So certainly excited to see how things obviously play out, and then next week when we come back, look forward to talking about what the NFL playoffs will look like and some of our predictions.
Yeah, now we got to talk about the opposite side, because it's a playoff picture and it's a tank for the number one pick picture, because in the NFL it's different. In the NBA did a lottery, but in the NFL you got the worst record league, you get the first pick. It's off your record. But Sean, because the Raiders won, the Giants won, and it kind of like fluctuated with the pick situation that's going on. Should NFL teams lose games to tank?
SB, I am a long proponent of the NFL needing to put in a lottery system to prevent this from happening.
You took my next question out, Kyle. I was definitely going to ask you about that.
I've been saying this for years. It's long overdue. The team who with the worst record should not be guaranteed the first overall pick. Because again, what's the incentive to continue to play hard? Now, again, I think the other part of the problem is the system is the bigger problem than what these teams do within the system, to be very clear. The system is the problem. I don't think until you put in a lottery system, this is going to continue to be the case. Because, again, a fan base getting upset at a team winning, and, again, the Giants winning yesterday, beating the Colts yesterday, and playing hard yesterday should not affect their ability to still be in the running for the first pick or for a top pick. If you had a lottery system, this wouldn't even be an argument. They'd go into the lottery system with the other teams that don't make the playoffs, and may the team that wins the lottery wins. I think they've got to consider this at some point, because again, this is going to continue to be every year. We're going to have this discussion. Should teams tank? Should teams tank? Tank. The word tank doesn't belong anywhere in sports. It doesn't belong anywhere in sports. But in this particular case, it's in there because of the system. So fix the system.
Imagine you grow up paying tickets to go to a game and you want your team to lose.
Right.
And then, Sean, you said it got to be illegal that there's so many 12 to 13 lost teams in the NFL right now. Laughing my butt off. That is crazy. We got Giants, Panthers, Patriots, Titans, and I'm going to throw the Bears in there too. So they had 12. And the Browns. And the Jaguars. I'm sorry. And the Raiders. And the Jets. Jesus. Those all got 12 or more losses. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams in the league with 12 or more losses. That is kind of crazy. And I was definitely asking you that, Sean, because that's literally my next question. You took on, like, do we need to install a lottery system? I think it is at that point because, like you said, what incentives are you showing the fans by telling them to lose? Because now you got fans rooting for their team to lose because they want to have the number one pick in the draft. And I know it's like with the NFL, there's so many draft picks, and it's like one person, which can change the dynamic of your franchise, especially if it's a quarterback. But I think the NFL don't really look at it like that because they got so many people on the field. But I have to agree with you. I think it's at that point in time whether you can do a lottery system. Now, would it be a clean lottery system all the time? Probably not, knowing the NFL. But I think the last pick, the worst record in the league is getting the first pick is getting prehistoric. I'm sorry, they got to change it. Last but not least, Sean, we got previews before we go over the picks of the week. Lions versus 49ers preview. I got the Lions coming in, securing this bag so they can get the number 1 seed. Shout out to the NFC North. The NFC North has definitely balled out this year. You got the Vikings with 4. I did not. If I had it on my bingo card that the Vikings were going to win 14 games, another team that I'm not gonna lie. I'll show mine. What was it there right here? I did not believe in. I had the Minnesota Vikings finishing last. I was wrong. Sean, if you did too, like, hey, look, nobody. I didn't expect them to be this good. Nobody did.
No, because I went back to look at the preseason picks for wins. They had their over under at 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
So again, at the end of the day, you
bet it on them. Woo-wee, you made some money.
Yeah, if you bet on the Vikings, you did pretty well. Not that I promote betting because I don't, but the point is that I don't think, again, they were a surprise team. Nobody saw this from them coming off of last season, and they certainly exceeded everyone outside of Minnesota's expectations.
Retired, bro. Who are you talking about? TT retired there. Well, LeBron. It got to be LeBron. Talking about LeBron retired. Hey, trust me, he's gonna retire soon. All right, child. We got I got the Lions win. Who you got winning tonight? I got the Lions too, by the way.
I got the Lions winning tonight as well.
We got to recap the picks of the week of tonight. Last week, what's the record right now?
It's 8-7-1 SB. I'm not gonna run through all the picks. But I will say SB did win the picks this week. So SB actually wins the regular season for the picks of the week.
Because I'm up 2, the last week there wouldn't make no difference.
The last one won't make a difference. However, playoffs are coming, and we will see how things play out in the playoffs. But shout out to SB for winning the picks this year. We
back, baby. We are the champions. Okay, all right, that's time. But episode 30, Sean. Who you got for 30?
I got 2 guys, Bernard King.
Shout out Bernard King. I like that.
Bernard King and Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, good pick. I'm gonna have to go the greatest shooter of all time. I'm officially. I got to reorganize my top 10 to get it together, but I'm officially putting Steph Curry in my top 10, especially with the recent rapid of value that the Golden State Warriors have got. I got to go Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, officially in my top 10. I gotta reorganize how I want to do it, but yeah, I'm going Wardell. We'll definitely got to go Wardell, Steph Curry. Appreciate you guys for watching. It's been another great episode of Real Take So Fake Debates with SB and Sean Webb. We will see you guys on the next one. And we are out of here. Peace.